Opera SM here with another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. Today we're going to look at the possibility of making a green conversion engine deck that runs no spells. This idea was brought to you by Jadelight Ranger, which was being discussed by, I believe, Madrin in our Battle of the Four Tribes Part 2 deck lists. And it got me thinking just about some of the sneaky converters, because Jadelight Ranger doesn't have convert green, but it explores towards a planeswalker of your color, which will convert X times 2 gems on the board to that creature's colors. So explore is a fantastic sort of hidden convert mechanism that I had kind of slipped back under my radar after Ixalan rotated out of standard. But between explore and convert gems to your planeswalker's color identity, not just green, I think we have a critical mass of cards to make this work. So after playing around just a little bit, this is what I came up with. Let's walk through this legacy list here. I am using Nissa Worldwaker for this because she can also convert stuff to green and make green creature tokens, which we'll see will make a little difference sometimes in this deck. Also just pretty solid mana gains. So like many green converter decks, I mentioned in a previous video, but with the green conversion legacy shell that I use, I usually want 2 cards in there that will convert things to cards. So as those sorts of cogs in the deck, we have 2 that can work in mono green. Tome of the Guild Pact. It costs 11 for an artifact support. When this support is on the board, whenever you cast a colored support, draw a card, though it's actually programmed currently to whenever you play a colored card, not just a support. And then it's activate 2 of your colored mana bonuses are increased by 1 until end of turn. Also gives some great added mana bonuses. Rashmi Eternity's Crafter for 17, a 3/3 elf druid. When you cast a spell, support, or a creature, fetch the next card from your library. So, well, not draw, it does fetch and get a card into your hand. Leyline of Abundance. For 10, this enchantment support has been a pretty big workhorse in a lot of the green conversion decks I've done in Standard. I think it also, after playing with it a bit, definitely deserves a place in the Legacy version. This has whenever you convert 3 or more gems to green, which this deck does a lot of, gain 1 mana for each creature you control. Then your creatures get +1/+1. So this is great. So while it doesn't convert itself, it does give you extra mana, usually 3 extra mana every time you convert to green, which many cards in this deck do. And then your creatures get +1/+1 is definitely not to be underestimated. This will allow even teeny little creatures to get pumped up pretty well. We run more than 3 creatures in this deck, so we're probably only going to keep 2 stacks of creatures around. Probably the Rashmi and the Uvenwall Hydra, which we'll get to in a second, rotate through the other ones. But those creatures just getting additional buffs by this can definitely make it go faster. And finally, the Overflow ability. If your green mana bonus is increased by 1 for each green creature you control, which will be 3 most of the time, this Overflow ability that we have, since we are drawing or fetching a lot of cards with this deck, when this card enters your hand, if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, it's exiled, and special effect happens. So this will allow your green mana bonus to get pretty high. I was just playing around with a little bit until I got to having an extra swap. I had 20-something plus 20-something in green. So I like this a lot as one of the last little flex slots. Path of Discovery, one of my favorite uncommons from Rivals of Ixalan. Support for 8. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it explores 1. So again, this explore of when a creature enters your battlefield, you convert X times 2 gems to that creature's color. So we have mostly green creatures. We have a couple gold creatures in the deck, so sometimes it will convert it to some of their other colors like blue or red or white, but that is okay, and it just gives us really solid value on those creatures. And if for some reason it doesn't make a match when it converts, it will absolutely pump up your creatures even more too. So going back through, another one of those kind of sneaky green converters, if you're playing a mono green deck, is Omen of the Hunts, because as it enters the battlefield, it costs 8 and has 1 shield for an enchantment support, but you convert 6 gems to your Planeswalker's color. For plain mono green, that deck, this will convert to 6 to green for 8 mana, which is a pretty good rate. And then when this support is destroyed, pick one of the first 2 different land cards in your deck and fetch that card. Well, we are playing Fertile Thicket, which only costs 2, and when it enters the battlefield, converts 3 gems to green, and at the beginning of our turn, converts 1 to green. So this is great to find. If we have both Tome of the Guildpact and Rashmi in play, sometimes it won't have room to fetch stuff, but when it does have room to fetch stuff, it's great. I mentioned before Jadelight Ranger. It explores 1, which will convert 2 gems to green. Then it explores 2, which will convert 4 gems to green. So for 12, it does convert 6 gems to green, which is great. Elvish Visionary, which you've seen a lot in the standard versions of these decks. It costs 5, only 5 for a 1/1 creature, but it does convert 3 gems to green, so that's a pretty efficient rate. Uvenwald Hydra is probably the biggest beater in this deck in your primary win condition. It's a 1/1 reach for 14 Hydra creature, but it will get much bigger than that, because when this creature enters the battlefield, 6 gems are converted to green. Beginning of your turn, 3 gems are converted to green, but when any player matches 3 or more green gems, this creature gets +2/+2. So as we loop, this thing will just start getting gigantic. So I usually let Uvenwald Hydra sit in one of the creature slots on the board, and then Rashmi Eternity's Crafter, because we want it there for our card advantage engine, and then just cycle through all the other creatures. So it will get very big very fast. It's a good converter when it's played, and every turn, if you haven't started looping off already, it will convert 3 to green, which is great. Last card we have in here is Zakama. It costs 25, but it's a 9/9 legendary trample berserker creature, Elder Dinosaur. And this is another one of those sneaky converter cards if we're playing a mono green deck. When this creature enters the battlefield, convert 9 gems to one of your Planeswalker's colors. Well, we only have 1 Planeswalker color green, so this, well, it does cost 25, will convert 9 gems to green, which is a pretty good converter. And if we don't get to play the mega conversion spells, these are some of our best option. It also gives us a lot of other kind of positive externalities with our activate abilities, especially the activate green one, destroy a non-land support your opponent controls. And then it can also just deal damage to their first creature or gain you life if you need it, if it gets any grindier. But primarily the being able to destroy a non-land support if your opponent has troublesome, annoying, prisony sorts of things out, that can start to get rid of those. So let's go ahead and give this deck a run. I was using it on the bottom node of Trial of the Plains Green today to just give it a shot. Unlike the spell versions, it does not have a way to win the turn it starts going off unless you've had a creature in play since the beginning of your turn. If anyone has any great ideas of a good creature or support kill condition, please let me know. There are some things I believe that can trigger off of when any card is cast. Maybe there was one energized one if I'm not mistaken, but not sure how it would dilute the deck without a critical mass of converters or not, but definitely would love to hear ideas you have of creature or support win cons for this deck besides just attacking with giant hydras or other creatures. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. We have Leyline of Abundance in play, or in our hand to start. Trying to think if we want a little bit of conversion going on before that, maybe. Not 100% sure on that, but let's look at the board as we're thinking on that. We have a green conversion that we can get, which is pretty great. We have a black 4. I think the green is probably going to be the best with a chance to drop into a black. See our opponent's mana gains 2 with Oko. They get +4 to blue, +3 to green, and then black, red, and then white is the worst. So this makes food. It's when food tokens destroyed, fetch the first card from your opponent's library so they can take some of our stuff. Exile target opponent creature. And opposing artifact support. That's annoying because one of our converters is an artifact support. Then your opponent creates a food token, and then they can steal stuff. So, all right, so we want to try to go off fast, probably. Yeah, again, not quite sure what the thing that makes the most sense here is. I'm just going to get some creature converters going first, so we'll just go ahead and take this green match for now. Great, we got a black match along with it. I'll take it. Uh-oh, our opponent's doing some unfair legacy things. Oh, and they've got Prism Array out too. That's going to be really obnoxious for us. That means our Hydra is not going to be able to attack. Again, this definitely is not one of those things that's like the top tier legacy decks, but it's interesting for the possibility or option because there are some things that do that care about not casting spells. So it could be, unfortunately didn't do any green conversions there, but we'll still take this. All right, well, Prism Array at least has almost popped itself, which is pretty nice. I think I still just want to try to get this Zakama down just because it's going to be some pretty good value once it eventually goes off. We'll see if we can get lucky and hit a blue to kill their thing. Nope. All right, well, let's see. Here's a black and a 4 loyalty. We can also get 3 blues. What else here can we do? Maybe just the blues are the most efficient right now. Not sure. I might just take some loyalties so I can use the first ability of Nissa. Alright, so they're going to start converting a lot of gems to blue, which is unfortunate. But we just got to do what we can do here. I do get some green conversions, which is nice. But most importantly, we've popped our opponent's Prism Array, which is important because we want to ride this Uvenwald Hydra to victory. I probably should have frozen the second leyline that was in my hand. Let's see, they have that annoying troll. Luckily we're going to get some green conversions though and hopefully just be able to kill it. Alright. This is good. We can kill one of their supports with the Zakama. If we take that green match, I'd take the loyalty into the green match if I was going to do that. Another possibility is a white and a blue match, which might be even stronger, just in terms of mana gains. We're just going to draw some extra cards here. See if we can start looping something. Actually, the bottom match is better because we can get 3 loyalty, then into 3 green and 3 white. So we're just going to go ahead and take that. Now I think the other possibility is we can get a green into a loyalty. That's not gonna be enough, or loyalty into a green. I think it's better to take the safe route here. Don't think we have a path of discovery out yet, so these tokens actually are not going to be the most beneficial at the moment. Great, we do have an extra swap, so probably just going to use that to take some more green matches to pump up our Ubenwald Hydra, I think. Our other possibilities, let's see, we've got the thing to make landfalls and pump all our creatures up. So, let's see, of these, I think we're just going to take a green match here. Also, it takes a better green match away from our opponent in addition to just bumping our creature up. Great, so we killed their troll. Do they have enough food in play? Good, they didn't have enough food in play to bring it back. We popped enough with our conversions, which was awesome. I think we're going to hope they don't get a prism array out. But they have their own sort of loopy things going on here. They've got their own Rashmi now for a draw engine. I don't think we have a draw engine online yet, unfortunately. Oh, they're making us discard cards too. They're mean. Curious to see what was in their deck here. Unfortunately, they're popping a lot of our supports as they're converting too, which is most unfortunate. This is a pretty cool deck our opponent's got going here. Yep, that looks like the prism array that went on the board, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and take a look. No, it's a Tome of the Guild Pact. Interesting. So they either stole it from us or they're on a similar sort of build, which is pretty cool if that's the case. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at all the stuff they did last turn because they had a pretty crazy turn. Okay, so they cast an Elvis Visionary, then an Hour of Promise, then Moonwall, then Rishkar's Expertise. Yeah, so they're playing the normal good spell version. Blue Sun Zenith, Omen of the Hunt, Rashmi, Nissa's Renewal, Startled Awake, Conflux. So they look like they're a Conflux WinCon deck. Interesting. Wonder if Conflux is too slow for my build. That isn't. Oh no, it's a spell. That's why I can't play it. Okay, well, that looks like roughly what they did. So, all right, let's go ahead and think about this. So we don't want to. Don't want to do a No, they don't have. I keep thinking that they have the other support out. That's gonna disable all of our stuff, but that's not on the board now. So what we're gonna do is just draw some cards. Good, we do have a Rashmi now, which is worth looking at and considering. Tome of the Guild Pact and Rashmi will hopefully bring us home here. I'm just going to go ahead and probably take this match 5 here right now. That'll also give us a blue match, which is great. So this is buffing up all our creatures. Line of Abundance only has 1 shield left, unfortunately, so it may get popped soon, but I think we want to go ahead and now, while they only have 3 different supports on the board, go ahead and be able to pop one of them, either their Tome of the Guild Pact or the Vault of Catan, which is pretty sweet. Actually, we can't pop the Vault, so that's going to guarantee that we pop their Tome of the Guild Pact, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and that'll give us just enough mana to cast our own tome, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that. Good, so we got some pretty solid attacks going here. So let's see what our opponent is doing here. It looks like they might have made some... Great. Uvenwald Hydra putting in serious work, taking out their team. So Hydra here, this should be able to take us home, I think, just with the attacks that we have on the board now, which is great. So even starting to come across a kind of annoying converter deck, we were able to kill their thing that was going to disable our big threat. Let's just make sure they have phase treat. Yep, we don't care about that. We don't care about their food. Yeah, so we look like we're pretty good here. So let's just go ahead and make a match and take the win. Yeah, this is the spellless green conversion loop deck. Hope it has been found interesting by folks. Just going to do this now and then stop it after this because we have more than enough power to attack here. But yeah, there we go. So, all right. Take care, everyone.